Anyway, a blast from the past now. It's Chris Pyatt. He's been with the amateurs in his hometown of Leicester, but he now works with the pros. Last week he was with Jermaine Smile at the Prizefighter tournament in Liverpool. What a great event that was. Now, in his day, Pyatt was a genuine world-class fighter. He won the British and European and Commonwealth titles at light middleweight and beat Italy's Sambu Kalambe for the WBA middleweight title. Proper title, proper fighter. He lost his WBO belt to Steve Collins and last fought in 1997. Since then, he has been learning his trade the old-fashioned way by working and training amateurs. Now, I spoke to Chris a bit earlier, and I started by asking him how long he had been with Jermaine Smile.
Oh, I mean, I've trained him. He's only been boxing 4 years, Steve, 4.5 years.
Wow.
I had him as an amateur at the amateur club that I ran, and he's been pro now for a couple of years. So, I mean, there's a lot there. I mean, he's still learning, but, you know, he's a good learner.
He's a good learner. Now, Chris, are you still running the amateur club, or are you a full-time pro now?
No, I've switched full-time pro now. I did try to run the two together, Steve, but
too hard.
I'm on band, and you know, I just ain't got time to do the amateurs and the pros really. And it's the pro game that I love.
Yeah, Chris, your pro career started back in 1983 after a terrific amateur career. In fact, I was looking through some programme notes. I first saw you in 1977 in Blackpool in the schoolboy finals.
You make me sound old.
Well, listen, don't worry. I think you're the same age as me, so don't worry. I was watching someone that had bashed me up get bashed up in the final, and meanwhile you were bashing up someone else to win your title. So I can remember that. Now, Chris, you won the British and the European and a version of the world title as a pro. What was your highlight of your professional career, do you think, Chris?
I think it's got to be winning the world title. I mean, like, I've done it back home in Leicester.
Yeah, it was a great night.
Yeah, you know, it was a fantastic night. So, you know, you've got, I mean, I've had some great nights all the way along. But I think that's got to be the highlight of my career.
Now, you've not really been away. I mean, I know that you've been working with amateurs, but you've been quite low profile for the last 10 or so years, just keeping your head down in Leicester. But did you always know you were going to actually work in the boxing business, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, even when I finished. When I finished fighting myself, Steve, you know, yeah. I always knew, you know, but that's why I wanted to go into the amateurs, to learn how to, you know, I wanted to learn how to train kids. You know, it's different bot fighting, but, you know, I wanted to actually learn how to teach kids, and, you know, which is what I've been doing for the last 10 years, so, you know, but I probably stayed in it a bit too longer than I wanted.
What, too long with the amateurs, you reckon?
Yeah, I think so, but, you know, it's done now, you know, so, you know, but, you know, when you're involved, you're training amateur kids and that, it's hard just to stop and, you know, because at the, I mean, what I've had to do, you know, all my amateur kids have had to go to other clubs, so it's just hard making that little break.
I mean, once you've made the break, you know, this is the hard few years for all new pro trainers. This is the first 2 or 3 years are the hard ones until you develop fighters. Are you going to try and work with loads of promoters, or might you just work with, you know, 1 or 2 or just one? What's your sort of plan?
I mean, I want to work with everybody. I think it's nice if you can work with all the promoters. You know, I've got a couple of kids now. I've got Jermaine, and I've got another kid, Liam Daly, who's, you know, who I'm working with. So, you know, like, you know, I think it's great if you can work with all the promoters, but sometimes it's not possible. No,
certainly. As the kids, it's okay now. Once the kids get better, the promoters want a little bit of exclusivity.
Yeah.
So what's the plan for Jermaine for the rest of this year? It's early doors. What's the plan between now and, say, December the 31st?
I don't know. I mean, we'd like to get him out again in about June. I mean, you know, he's only boxed 4 threes at the moment, so
sure.
It'd be nice to move him up to 6 threes and, you know, see how he does over the long over distance. But I mean, he's still learning, Steve. You know, so you know, we don't want to rush him.
But he wants to learn, doesn't he? He's desperate to learn. He doesn't mind losing if he learns.
Yeah, and you know, good sparring and the right fights at the right time. You know, it do the kid the world of good.
Yes, certainly will. Listen, Chris, it's been a pleasure having you on today, and I'll speak to you and see you soon, and maybe we'll get you back in September or so, see how Jermaine and see how you are doing.
No problem, Steve.
Chris Pyatt there.